Of the building completely collapsed.
You are looking at live pictures right now.
Rescue dogs on the scene right now.
Good morning. My name is Rhett Mock, and I am honored to be the Search Dog Foundation's CEO. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to our September 2024 pairing ceremony, wherever you may be joining us from. Before we get started and introduce our newest search teams, I wanted to take a quick minute to recognize the several people that make our work, our mission possible, and days like today a reality. I want to start with recognizing our founder, Wilma Melville, who's here in the front row. I want to recognize our board of directors, our dedicated shelter and recruitment and transportation partners across the country, some of which we're fortunate enough to have with us today at the ceremony. Thank you for your efforts in identifying and bringing these incredible dogs to our campus. I want to thank our supporters across the United States who make our mission possible and generously and thoughtfully support our work and believe in what we're doing here. I want to thank the devoted volunteers and the incredible staff at the Search Dog Foundation that I have the great fortune of working alongside. Thank you all for your efforts and what you bring to this organization every single day. I want to thank Task Force leadership and teammates from California Task Forces 1, 4, and 7 for supporting their new teammates. And most importantly, I want to thank the families of the handlers that we're going to be celebrating today. You have opened your hearts and your homes to a high-drive working canine, an urban search and rescue dog, and I'm sure by now you are intimately aware of what a high-drive dog really means. So just remember, we're here to support you too. And of course, we're here to celebrate our new handlers, Christine, Steve, Christine, and Eric. Thank you for the commitment you're making and for the work that lies ahead of you. As you progress through your lives together with your canine, I want you to know that every single person that I just recognized is there with you because we believe in you and we believe in the profound power of people and canines working together. As you advance through your careers together, you will face challenges, celebrate accomplishments, make mistakes, but you'll learn. You'll learn from your teammates, from your leadership. You'll continue to learn and be supported by the Search Dog Foundation. And more importantly, you will learn from your canine and they will learn from you. The bond you form together will change your life, and that bond will then be shared with others to better their lives, save their lives, and help communities in need. So for that, we are grateful for the opportunity to celebrate you today. And to get things going, I am pleased to introduce my colleague, SDF's Senior Director of Communication and Search Team Operations, Denise Sanders.
Thank you all. And to echo Rhett, thank you all for being here and for supporting these teams. So to reiterate a little bit of what he said, our entire staff, many of whom are here behind us today, from our administrative teams to our canine operations teams, have worked day in and day out, night and day, to support these incredible dogs, to get them where they are so that we can pass the leash along. So if we can turn and give them a round of applause behind you here to all of our staff. Sadly, we know it's not a matter of if, but when another disaster will strike. We're in hurricane season right now. I think we're all aware. We just don't know when it's going to happen. So it's imperative that the training continues and we continue preparing these teams for when they are needed most. And to that end, our team has been working diligently to train search dogs as well as handlers to certify and deploy with task forces across the country. So these 4 canines that are going home today, they will be going home with new handlers from Los Angeles, Berkeley, Sacramento, and Vallejo, California. And they'll be ready ready to be called upon when needed, when there's a community in need. So I'd like to take a moment and direct your attention over here to the screen so we can take a look back at their training these last few months, and then I promise we will meet our new search teams.
Hi, I'm Mandy Tisdale. I'm the Director of Canine Behavior and Training at the Search Dog Foundation. We are here at the National Training Center. It's the midpoint assessment, and our handler candidates are getting to know the dogs in the program in preparation for being partnered. They're learning all about canine disaster search. It's going to be fun.
Get it.
So right now we are at STF, we're at the barrel field, and this is basically the spot where the dogs first learn to search. But even before learning to search, they actually learn what their alert is when they find someone and they go bark, 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 bark. So you train that first, and then you have what Mandy calls this light switch moment. And that's when the dog actually learns, like, hey, like, I don't just bark at anything, I have to go find where I want to bark. And that all kind of happens here.
Great job.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job.
We are in the covered agility arena, which is where we're going to be practicing all the agility exercises for the FSA test. These dogs are going to be climbing on rubble, looking for their victims in very unique areas, and so we are going to be helping them prepare their agility so that once they are on a rubble pile or a collapsed structure or something that's very unstable, they have had all the practice and confidence around things like ladders, unstable surfaces, going underneath things.
Good job. Good. Get it. So we're at the industrial park rubble pile. We're kind of building on our skills that we've learned. Here it can be a little confusing because of all the crevices and the different kinds of places that the scents can go to. So we're just kind of building onto our skills and getting to this pile. Makes it a little more difficult and challenging for us as handlers, but also the dogs as well.
Search.
Get it!
Today we're at an outdoor mall where we've got people coming for food, we have field trips, outings, so all walks of life. The dogs and the handlers have an opportunity to be around almost all of the kind of distractions they'll see in normal life, almost all at once, which is nice. A lot of these handlers here, it's their first time, they get to see how the dogs react, how to predict, and start to read the body language of some of their dogs and knowing how they react and what to look for to keep them out of any kind of trouble.
So now we know a little bit of a background of what they've been through these last few months, and I promise it's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of playing with dogs and a lot of learning. So I'd like to introduce now STF's Director of Canine Behavior and Training, Mandy Tisdale, who's taken the lead in making sure that these handlers and dogs are prepared alongside our wonderful staff and get them prepared for that next step. So she will tell us a little bit about that training process. Mandy?
Thanks, guys. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good? Are you guys warm enough? Because if anybody needs a sweater, we can make that happen. Okay, good. I'm glad that didn't land flat. First of all, thank you for being here. I want to say just a couple of things before we bring the teams out. I know everybody's warm, so I don't want to belabor that piece of it. I want to bring them out here so we can all congratulate them. But I want you to know that this group of 4 individuals have worked tirelessly over the last approximately 6 months for this moment. And They've had to learn, they've had ups, they've had downs, of course. Working with dogs is not easy, but they've triumphed, and these dogs that they're paired with have actually picked them. So those that have never been here before during a graduation, we don't actually, as trainers, we don't pick the dogs for them. The dogs actually tell us who is the handler that's going to be for them. So without further ado, I would like to bring out our first team. Okay. So Christine Priebe and her new partner Emmett with Los Angeles Fire Department and California Task Force 1. Emmett was picked up as a stray from a shelter that partners with the Southern Oregon Humane Society. Luckily for him, he was transferred to the Humane Society, where they recognized his friendly demeanor and high ball drive and reached out to SDF to see if Emmett would make a good candidate. We reviewed Emmett's videos, and he was a lot of dog. But I will say he had an army behind him at the Humane Society. The volunteers and staff at that organization saw the special shiny star that this dog is. And luckily, his performance in those videos, of course, we don't know him. We just are going off of what we see on a screen, warranted bringing him out. He was flown to SDF thanks to a longtime volunteer partner with Angel Flight West, Michael Kennedy, who I believe is here today. Yes, right there in front row. Great. Actually, one more thing. Emmett came to us, he was named Bear, but we already have a search dog, Bear, who's also here today. Where's Paul Januario? Over there, right on, Sacramento. He's based in Sacramento. So we had to rename this boy because each search dog has their own unique name, okay? So we renamed him in honor of Doc Brown from the movie Back to the Future. Please tell me you know what I'm talking about. Thank you. You can't see it with this nice vest that he's wearing, but he's got like white hairs that stick out, and so our training coordinator coined him Emmett, and so we went with that. It's a perfect name for him. This dog has presence, doesn't he? Okay, so when he arrived, again, we don't know the dogs, we don't know their personality, we just know what they show us on video. When he arrived here, this dog showed confidence right off the bat. He's even-tempered, he's actually a snuggle bug, he's high energy, high drive, but he just brings this calm confidence with him that we were incredibly impressed with. He became a staff favorite very quickly. Knowing how intense he is, we needed to find the proper handler for him, right? He's keeping it he's toned right now, which is good because this can be hard for them. But we needed to look for the right handler for him. Not just anybody could handle this dog. He brings a lot of intensity to the table. In walks Christine. We knew Christine actually handled a number of dogs in the program, and she really could handle any of them. She's a first-time dog handler, but she brings an intuition with dogs that is really, really valuable when you're getting into this kind of work. When we put Emmett's leash in her hands, it was a no-brainer. We knew right away that these two were going to be paired together, and as you can see, he has eyes for Christine, and they have really blossomed together. He gets to swim at home, which is really awesome for him. Yeah. So we're really excited about this team, and we are here to support you, Christine, in your endeavors. And with that, I would love to invite you to say a few words. Do you want me to hold you?
Oh, okay. Oh, boy. Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here today. I think I have more support here today than I did for my fire academy or even my college graduation. Because people really know how important this journey has been for me. I've waited a very long time to be a dog handler, and I knew this was gonna so soon already. I've waited a long time to be a dog handler, and it's a very proud moment to be standing next to this incredible guy and handsome. Know you guys think his brindle is beautiful. You're so handsome. I knew I was gonna do this too. I want to thank all of my friends, family, and coworkers for coming out here today and showing me your support. I know it's really nice and cool out here for y'all, so thanks for coming. To my parents, thank you guys for supporting me and for also being my role models. I have my mom's career, and my dad was also a dog handler, so I kind of got a little bit of each in both of them. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for being such a big role model for me. To my friends, and my co-dog moms, because Two of them are my roommates, Nicole, Ruth, and Chelsea. Thank you guys for being here today and for always supporting me. And being a dog mom wouldn't have been possible without you guys, so thank you. To my coworkers, thank you guys for coming out here today. He's just getting settled into the station life, and all the guys have been very welcoming and supportive of having Emmett at the station every day, so thank you guys for coming out. Everybody that was part of getting Emmett here. It took a lot of humans, not only to physically get him here, but to get him trained, to get all of his support. Thank you guys for everything that you guys have done. Everybody at SDF, you guys all know how long I've wanted to do this, and I appreciate all of your help and support along the way. Julia, Emmett misses you. He tells me all the time. He's a very good boy, but I do promise to love him every day and keep up our training that you all work so hard to do. So thank you. They're all clapping for you, bud.
Go ahead and move back into the middle. And we want to make sure that we mention that Emmett is sponsored by Marnie, John, and Jesse Cahill, and M. Lawrence Lalande and Nicole Lalande, as well as an anonymous donor. So before we allow them to leave the stage, I also would like to introduce Christine and Emmett's California Task Force 1 Program Manager, Battalion Chief Adam Knabe, to come and say a few words as we welcome them to the task force.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'll make it quick, but I just want to do, first off, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank SDF and for the commitment that you have to not only California Task Force 1, but the task forces throughout the country. You guys truly make our capabilities better and allow us to go places and do good work. So thank you for your commitment. To Christine, congratulations. Like you said, we all know it too. It's been a long road for you. And I cannot say how proud we are of you, you and Emmett. I have the honor of being the program manager for California Task Force 1, and I truly mean, I don't use that honor term lightly. The members in the urban search and rescue arena are some of the most dedicated and experts in search and rescue that you'll ever get an opportunity to work around. So thank you very much for wanting to do this, because your team that we see here today is going to make California Task Force 1 more capable and able to go out and perform whatever is thrown our way. So congratulations. This is a great day for you and Emmett, and thank you for your dedication to our program. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you, Christine and Emmett. Next, I would like to introduce Steve Thompson and his new partner, Tex, with Vallejo Fire Department and California Task Force 4. Tex was discovered wandering in Spanish Fork, Utah by a Good Samaritan who contacted South Utah Valley Animal Shelter. An SDF canine recruiter stopped by the shelter a few days later and noticed the spunky lab. When the recruiter pulled out a tennis ball, Tex immediately began jumping in anticipation, and the recruiter knew he was a great potential candidate, and he was. He was flown to SDF thanks to volunteer pilot Michael Kennedy, just like Emmett. Though he started out known as Billy, we already had a search dog Billy in our program, so this boy was renamed Tex as a nod to the original Billy's service with Texas Task Force 1 and Texas Task Force 2, and in honor of his sponsor's home state of Texas. Worked out. Tex is sponsored by Jill B. and Lauren Glasser and Beth and Greg Apke. So I have a funny personal story about Tex. So for those that don't know how these dogs are kind of initially trained, it's a lot of drive building, even though they bring to the table a lot of drive. But we teach them, I think Christine said that, we teach them their alert first. So in the beginning, it's a lot of high energy activity. Well, the dogs learn very, very quickly that when they're going out to train at 8 o'clock in the morning, the young dogs, that they're going to go do something really fun. And so they travel around in crates, and that's the safest way to travel with them. And when we're getting the dogs out of the crates, we have to put harnesses on them initially. That can be a very challenging thing with like high drive, spunky Labradors and dogs like this. One morning, Tex I was getting him out of his, you know, the story. All the handlers are like, stop telling the story. But you guys haven't heard it, so I'm going to tell you. One morning, when we were just getting to know Tex, I opened the crate, and we asked them to have a little politeness. We don't want them just busting out of the crate for obvious reasons. And so we tell them to wait, and we wait for eye contact, put the harness on, and then we invite them out. And then the fun happens. So Tex was waiting politely, and I, reading him, though I thought I was reading him correctly, I went to put his harness on, and what did he do? He's like, I want to go work, and he punched out, hit me right in the face with his head. Okay, right in the mouth. And I was like, it's stunned for a minute. I had a bloody lip, but at that moment, I'm like, this dog's going to be so awesome. I cannot wait to work with him. Working with dogs. So, you know, bloody lip and all, got him out, worked him, and he just impressed the heck out of us, okay? The funny part about this is I had just switched over to a new dentist, and I had a dentist appointment that afternoon for cleaning. Didn't get my cleaning, but they checked my mouth out. I was fine, no big deal, you know, no big deal at all. But I got an opportunity to talk all about STF, so it worked out. But anyhow, Tex right away showed us what his capabilities would be. He's a really fun dog. He's a lot of dog. He kind of worked with a lot of different handlers over a couple cohorts. We were trying to figure out what would be the best match for him. Steve worked with a number of the dogs in the program. Steve's demeanor is so perfect for Tex because Tex is, and you're not seeing it right now because I think they're hot, but he likes to run. Like running is one of his favorite pastimes. He gets his toy and he's like, okay, I'll see you later. I'm going to run around a little bit. So it was going to take somebody very special to kind of open Tex's eyes that, hey, this person matters to me. And when we handed the leash to Steve, I think Steve's calm demeanor, and you don't get frustrated. Like anything that is thrown this gentleman's way, he takes it in stride. And I think Tex really responded to that. As you can see, they have eyes for each other. Excuse you, Tex. So it was really fun watching these two blossom together, and I think staff would agree that know this dog really well. Steve's been working with this dog at home for about a month now, and I think Tex has really matured in that 1 month being home with somebody and with a family and all the activities that he gets to do with Steve. And so we're really excited for your journey. You're just getting started, and we're here to support you every step of the way. So with that, I would love for you to say a few words.
For the record, I do get stressed. I just don't show it. Trust me. I'll keep my speech short, unlike Christine. I know it's hot out here. And plus, they told us we had a speech last night, so I didn't really have time to prepare much. But first, I wanted to thank my wife. She's, first of all, she introduced me to Search Dog Foundation. She's worked with Search Dog Foundation through her career, working at an animal shelter. She's been in contact with them for, like 10, 12 years. She's placed a couple dogs here, so she really introduced me to this place, and I was sold when she first started talking about it. I always knew in the back of my head that this was going to be part of my career, but we wanted to wait for our timing. Our two girls are at the right age now, and once I got started, or we got started with it, everything's just happened so quick. Everyone told me it would be, and it definitely is. And so without Liz's help, I could not have done this at all. I want to thank the Task Force 4 and 7 members who have really helped me along the way. I mean, I've been coming out for about a year and a half. They've been super welcoming, super helpful. Obviously, without them, I would not be here at all. And I'm definitely going to rely on you guys, for the next 10 years, because you guys have helped me a lot, and I really appreciate all your knowledge and everything you've done for me to get me here to this point. Vallejo Fire Department, they've been nothing but supportive of me. I'm the first, or Tex and I are the first handler team in Vallejo, and they've been super supportive. I think they realize that this is a great thing for the department. People love him around the station. He's great for morale, and so far so good. I think everyone's happy with him there. And last but certainly not least, STF. All the trainers, all the donors, all the volunteers, this place is so impressive, and it's obviously a well-oiled machine, and that's driven by the passion and the commitment to these dogs, to what they do, and it clearly shows, and I'm just super impressed. So thank you to everyone. I can't thank you enough, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Steve and Tex. Next, I'd like to introduce Christine Lopes and our new partner, Ozzy, with California Task Force 4. Ozzy was raised since puppyhood in Utah, in a Utah home until circumstances forced his owner to move. Unable to take Ozzy with him, he opted to place him for adoption in the local paper instead of surrendering him to the animal shelter. An STF recruiter noticed the ad and arranged to evaluate Ozzy, who passed his performance screening with flying colors. Like Emmett and Tex, Ozzy was also transported to STF thanks to Michael Kennedy. Ozzy is sponsored by the Joel and Dina Gambord family. Ozzy is a baby dog. He's a baby dog. He's a jumbo baby. We trainers had a lot of fun with this little boy here. He brings a lot of personality to the table, and he made us laugh for the entire time he was in our program. We knew he needed somebody that didn't take themselves too seriously. And it's a compliment. It's a compliment. I'll be honest. We interview the handlers before they come out, and I remember Christine during her interview impressed me as being very polished, very professional, and very serious. I know that's how she came across in the interview, which was great, right? And then she showed up, and Christine is a ball of fun. She loves to have a good time. She's always laughing. Working with Ozzy was an instant connection with these two. She makes him goofy, and he makes her laugh constantly. I remember the first time she got him out of the crate to search with him. Do you remember? Instantly, he came out of the crate and was just like licking her entire face, like constantly.
Cheating.
What, he was cheating?
He was cheating. We're supposed to say impartial.
Yeah.
He was cheating.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I like you. Let's do this. And so they had been working together for a few months now. She's taken him home. They're doing their thing, and we're really excited about this team. I think that they mirror each other really, really, really well, and we couldn't have noticed how perfect these two would be matched together until we saw them together. They have a good time, which is what you need to do. This is serious work, but if you can throw some humor into it, it keeps it going. It keeps the longevity there. So, Christine, we're really excited about you and Ozzy, and we're here for you every step of the way. We'd love for you to say a few words. Excuse me.
Hello. Sorry. Hi. Can everybody hear me? Okay, cool. I'm not nervous at all or anything. And Ozzy will probably just wander. We're just gonna let him be. I knew I was kind of gonna be speechless right now, so I wrote all this down because I knew this was gonna happen. Just when Face ID doesn't want to work. Oh my gosh. Okay. And I'm sorry, Denise, if this is not 90 seconds. I'll probably laugh, which will probably include snorting and/or crying, maybe both. I don't know. But oh my gosh. I know you're doing so good. Today is a day that has been 3 years in the making. Many were involved in supporting me to be able to stand here before you today, and I will thank them all. But first, I want to thank Wilma. She didn't know it until a few months ago, but she changed my life dramatically when I read her book, Hero Dogs. Before then, it started with Rudy, who must be equally thanked, because when I walked right up to him and said, I want to learn about the search dog program. Mind you, I was 3 months into probation. And he's looking at me like, you are a 23-year-old wide-eyed child, and now I'm told I look like a wide-eyed chocolate lab. So, but Rudy said, pass your 6-month test and come back to me if you're still interested. So I did pass my 6-month test.
I got it.
Oh.
We've got a little yellow jacket situation happening.
Thank you so much. Yes. So, and then in the meantime, he told me, read the book Hero Dogs. So I'd actually also like to thank my sponsor, Amazon Prime. So, when I read about the man who returned to the Oklahoma City bombing site every day to ask Wilma if they had found his wife, It really struck a chord with me. In a completely different set of circumstances, I understood what he was experiencing because he was feeling helpless and all his hope was placed in somebody else. I felt this way when my grandmother passed. And without her unwavering support of me in my fire and EMS career, when a lot of people didn't think I would do it, she said, I know you're going to. So I want to thank her, and I really hope I'm making her proud. And thank you to Wilma, because you've given me a way to help those who have felt the same way I have, who are helpless and hoping in somebody else. And of course, don't forget Rudy. He put up with me bugging him for 6 months, asking me to come to a training. It was 6 months. It was 6 months. He will argue with me. It was 6 months. I finally got him to cave, and he's been stuck with me ever since. So, Uncle I, thank you for being the doorway for me to do this. Then there's Bobby, my work dad, my first captain, who blindly supports me in everything I do. Thank you for always challenging me to rise to the occasion. You've made me a better person, so thank you. Even when I don't want to be. Those two only deal with me at work, though. So the biggest shout out by far has to go to my boyfriend, Chris. Chris not only loves me and supports me unconditionally, but he has never let me give up on myself. So thank you for believing in me when I didn't. I will always be grateful to you. She couldn't be here today, but I wanted to personally mention one of my best friends, Alyssa Frills, a member of the last graduating class. She always grounds me, and Alyssa, I know when you watch this, I just want to say thank you for always being just the calm when I'm spazzing. So thank you for being such a great friend. And to my friends and family who've come here today, I also have to thank your blind support of me. Without each of you, I wouldn't be standing here today, and you guys all drove down here, and it really means more to me than you guys will ever know, so thank you a lot. I want to thank my department for allowing me to be part of such a phenomenal program. Thank you to Task Force 4 and all my amazing K9 teammates. Julie. You guys have taught me so much over the past couple years, and I really can't think of a dog that I haven't run. So thank you guys for giving me a chance and just cheering me on the whole way. And finally, thank you to STF, your staff, and everyone who had a hand in getting Ozzy here today. You guys are phenomenal, and you run the most stellar program. The pilot who flew Ozzy in from Utah is actually here, and that's so amazing. Thank you. I truly appreciate you bringing him here. To all the wonderful donors and sponsors, thank you. I'm balling on a budget, so I couldn't have done this without you guys. So, but I'm joking, but truly, like, I'm very grateful. You've all paid me an opportunity I'll never be able to afford, but I promise to do my best to pay it back in the future when we deploy. And I can't say it enough, but truly thank you to everyone here today. I really appreciate all of you. And with that, we're going to wrap it up because Ozzy's about to lose his mind.
They're not getting away that easy. I'd like to now introduce California Task Force 4, a teammate of both of these new teams, and veteran SDF handler of Search Dog Topa, Rudy Valencia, to come up and say a few words on behalf of California Task Force 4.
Hello, everybody. I'm not going to wing it this time. I had to write things down since Brian doesn't want to speak for us. But thank you. On behalf of California Task Force 4, Berkeley Fire Department, and the Vallejo Fire Department, it is an honor to be up here to talk about Steve and Christine. Firstly, a great big thanks to Wilma for your vision in creating the STF. The awesomeness that is the Search Dog Foundation is all because of you. Thank you. Thank you to the entire Search Dog Foundation, from administration to the volunteers to the donors and sponsors. This place wouldn't work without you, and you are all an important part of our K9 family. Now, when Stephen and Christine first approached us about joining the team and becoming handlers, we tried to impress upon them that it takes a lot of hard work and a deep commitment to fulfill their training obligations. I think for several months they probably thought we didn't want them on the team because we were always telling them, you got to show up, You got to train, you got to do this or that. That's evident by Christine. In fact, it wasn't until Christine got accepted to the handler cohort that she approached me and said, Rudy, you don't even want me on the team. Not true. But it is true that it takes a lot of commitment and some sacrifice to be a search dog handler. We take it seriously when we put our stamp of approval on accepting you to our team to make sure that you are the right person to get a dog. That being said, know this. We chose you because you proved your commitment to us. Your dogs chose you because you proved your commitment to them. Your teammates will be there to support you as our commitment to you. You are now officially part of an awesome community and the world of search dogs. To you and your loved ones, welcome to our family. And to all of you, know that Steve and Christine are now part of an elite team and will go on to do great things with their new partners. Thank you for your faith in us. Steve and Christine, congratulations. We'll see you on the pile. And don't forget to log your trainings.
Thank you, Rudy and Christine. All right, last but not least, I'd like to introduce you to Eric Lewin and his new partner, Ridge, with Sacramento County Airport Fire and California Task Force 7. Ridge was found as a stray in Tooele County, Utah, and brought to the Tooele City Animal Shelter. It's a mouthful. There he was adopted twice and returned to the shelter for the same reason. Ridge had way too much energy. He was constantly in motion, played nonstop with his toys, and was an escape artist. Luckily, it wasn't long before an STF recruiter spotted Ridge in the shelter and recognized his potential. That's right, Ridge. Ridge was soon transported here to SDF by the Four-Legged Kids bus, and he began his journey as a search dog. Ridge was previously partnered with another handler who was no longer able to continue in the canine program due to life circumstances, so we got him back. Ridge is sponsored by David and Barbara Barnhart. Ridge is a really, really special dog. While he was returned to the shelter a number of times for the behaviors that tend to not be great in like a pet home, all of his qualities scream search dog material. This dog flourished in our program. Staff really care. We care a lot about this dog. He's been partnered before, and unfortunately that, as I mentioned, due to life circumstances, couldn't continue. So Ridge came back, and right away he was ready to go. We wanted to make sure that he got partnered quickly, because this dog brings a lot to the table. In walks Eric Lewin. Eric is no stranger to this. Eric has been a dog handler 10 years. He's got search dog Jake. So Eric knows his way around a rubble pile, okay? Ridge knows his way around a rubble pile. This match was, I think, meant to be. There's always a silver lining that happens in any story, right? And I think it's really kind of magical that these two found each other because they're already well on their way. Ridge and Eric can work a rubble pile like a well-seasoned team. They communicate well. All it took was for Eric to kind of understand how Ridge worked and what his communication style was, and vice versa, right? Ridge needed to learn to Eric. But as you can see, Ridge has eyes for Eric, right? That happened very, very quickly. And because of Eric's experience, Eric has deployment experience. Again, he's been a handler for a very long time. He really naturally knew how to work with a search dog. He understands the high energy. He understands the barking. He understands all the things that brings a search dog to our table, right? So, I know, it's so cute, right? Yeah. While Jake is still with us, luckily, his search dog Jake, and while we can't replace, we can't compare two different dogs together, we're thrilled that both dogs are still with Eric. And we're really looking forward to all the wonderful things you're going to do, Eric, with Ridge. And we're really stoked that you decided to go another round. It's very impressive, and we're really excited about it. So with that, I would love for you to say a few words.
Wow, yeah. For those who are close in my circle know that this wasn't an easy decision, because I know the commitment. You know, it's not easy, but it's easy to say the words, I want to be a handler and I want to do this. After having been through this, I know what it takes, and it's a huge commitment for time to do it right. It's a huge commitment. And I waffled for a year or two deciding if I was to do this again, because it's 10 years. You're doing this again. And Jake is still very healthy, still certified. So it's not like I'm just doing another one and, you know, my poor old boy isn't here anymore. I'm dealing with 2 dogs, which is 3 times the work. So I needed to make sure I was ready for it and did some soul searching. You know, had to talk with my family and discuss if they were up for it. And finally it clicked in, and I was ready to do it. Realized that this is my tribe. The SDF, my teammates, they're my second family, so I wasn't about to give up that family. So doing a dog seemed like a natural fit, and I also felt like I had a lot to pass on to some of the younger handlers that are coming on board. You know, so why not? In terms of my big thanks, my cohort, actually, I want to thank. My 3 teammates who have already been up here have been absolutely awesome. They've taught me as much as I've been able to help teach them stuff, and I'm glad that they were able to show all of the dedication that is required and put up with all of my antics and my nonstop talking and preaching to them. So I appreciate that. I appreciate SDF, of course, for all the work. The last time I went through here, and this includes the donors as a big one, because the last time I went through this, my handler's course was run out of a garage. So to be able to be in these classrooms and these facilities, stay in the lodge here, that's only possible because of Wilma and the team here and the donors that have all worked together to make this place what it is, because it's Doggy Disneyland, and I think it's Handler Disneyland now. So, and that's all because of them. So I thank them. Task Force 7, I appreciate all of my team members, especially the ones that made the trek down here. I appreciate it. Paul, Justin, I appreciate you. My brother came out from Tucson, so I appreciate that, and his wife. And the biggest one is my immediate family, Sam and Reese. So I appreciate you guys coming out and the dedication that you have to give to this. I know it's hard on you guys, too, to do another round. So last bit is this guy's got some big shoes to fill. You're right. No, they're not going to be compared at all. They're 2 different styles of dogs. It's been shared that Jake was a bull in a china shop. Ridge is not. I was a bull in a china shop. I have gray hair now. I'm much more slower and calculating, and that's what Ridge is, much more slower and calculating. No, not slower, more calculating. You know, he's a monster, and I'm grateful to have him. And like you said, it's a match meant to be. This isn't about me, but I understand these dogs. I have this bond. You know, I grew up being in and out of foster homes and stuff on my own. So for to be paired with these dogs who were in and out of that, and to know what it's like that he finally has a home. You know, I looked at him when I first saw him, and I said, I don't care who it is. I hope it's me, but he's not going anywhere. So I'm his forever home. I'm his forever family, and I understand what they went through with in and out of kennels and that life. So his neediness, I don't see as a problem. I see it's something he's going to grow into, and we're going to bond. And he's growing into the family. You know, I took him to the beach yesterday, and he was carrying a stick with Jake, you know, at the beach. It was adorable. So they're figuring things out as well. So anyway, yes. So thank you to everybody who made the trek, and SDF and the trainers. And Randy, I appreciate all the work you put in with him. And thank you for the pairing. And thank you all for coming out.
Congratulations, you two. I'd also like to introduce now California Task Force 7 Canine Coordinator Paul Januario to say a few words on behalf of the task force.
Good morning, everybody. You guys have been so patient. It's hot out here, so I'm going to be nice and quick, hopefully, at least. My name is Paul Januario. Not only am I the canine coordinator for Sacramento, but I have a search dog, Barry's, in the lodge. It's very true. Eric said this is Disneyland for the dogs. I mean, Barry hasn't been here for a little while. As soon as we hit the Wheeler Canyon Road, he's on his feet, he's panting, he's excited. And I can't even stand out there introducing myself to people because all he wants to do is run agility props. So like this truly is an amazing facility for the dogs. But on behalf of the task force, I want to say thank you to the SDF. You guys are absolutely tremendous. I cannot stress enough, I cannot describe enough. Not only do you provide something for the dogs, right? The dogs come first, but us handlers, we cannot do what we do without you. Truly, I can't stress it enough. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Now moving on to Eric. He's the old man now. So we don't, he's been here before. We lean on Eric. For those of you who know Eric in the most best way possible, Eric can be a lot. But I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. When I started my journey here in SDF and with the dog, we had some seasoned handlers, but we didn't have a lot of facilities, and we did a lot of traveling down to the Bay Area, out to Oakland. We did everything we could. We scratched and we did to train. Being a new handler, that's difficult. That's difficult at best. The most support I have is here in the foundation, but we're 400 miles away. Eric, I leaned on Eric tremendously. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Eric. The program in Sacramento would not be where we are today if it wasn't for Eric. He talked about dedication. He's not lying. When you bring this dog home, you're just scratching the surface of the journey that you're about to go on. The fact that he did it with Jake and the way he did it with Jake, and that he's willing to do it again for, like you say, another 10 years, it's a testament to him and who he is and how much he means to us. So Eric, truly, on behalf of Sacramento and me, thank you so much for everything you do. And I'm going to leave you guys to it. Thank you so much.
Now that they've been officially partnered, these teams will receive follow-up training support from the staff here at SDF, in addition to the weekly search team trainings with their task forces. Some of their teammates are here today. The next major goal will be to achieve certification, which will allow them to then deploy when disaster strikes throughout the United States. So, without further ado, we're now proud to introduce officially, for the first time, America's newest canine disaster search teams, Christine Preby and Emmett, Steve Thompson and Tex, Christine Lopes and Ozzy, and Eric Lewin and Ridge. And as they come up here, I just want to say thank you again to California Task Force 1, California Task Force 4, California Task Force 7, Los Angeles Fire Department, Berkeley Fire Department, Sacramento County Airport Fire, and Vallejo Fire Department for your support of these new search teams and the entire canine program as a whole. It truly takes the concerted effort of our partnerships to set these teams up for success and guide them as they continue on their journey. We know that we will continue strengthening disaster response in America through our collective efforts to be sure that these teams are ready when called upon to help. And we want to thank you, all of you at home, all of you here today, for not only supporting them, but cheering them on. There's a long way to go, but we know that you all have that support network behind you and that you all are going to succeed. And we will be here with you every step of the way. So on behalf of our staff, board, volunteers, and everyone else, thank you all for being here and supporting these teams. That will conclude our pairing ceremony, but I want to give one more round of applause to our newest teams. Congratulations.
All